You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry, ChillyBoy Chillson, and this is my finalized Oscar nomination predictions for 2023. Now, if you've stumbled across this live stream by accident and don't know who I am, but like what you see, go ahead and click that like button down below and subscribe to my channel so that you are up to date on all of the awards coverage as we move throughout this Oscars season. Now, here we are, just ahead of the nomination morning. If you don't know, I'm going to be live here on Tuesday morning as well, doing a live reaction as the nominees are announced. Probably gonna be some rage, probably gonna be some happiness. You won't want to miss it. It'll be a fun time. We had a good time last year doing it actually live for the first time. But as per usual, I'm scared. I'm scared about what's gonna get snubbed, what's gonna be left off the list. And in a couple of these cases, I'm definitely scared about what's going to be left on the nominees list. So we'll get to those as soon as we get to those categories here in the predictions. So we're going to go through almost all the categories except for the shorts, basically, because I just don't have the knowledge. As post or pre-Oscars, before they give the nominees, I just don't have the knowledge on the shorts to do predictions on who's getting in or whatnot on those categories. So if you have predictions for documentary short, for animated short, for live action short, make sure to leave those. More power to you. I just don't have the expertise there. So we're going to keep it on pushing and start off with costume design. So costume design. Oof. I've really been struggling with this one. Actually, I've been struggling with a lot. There's like 3 nominees, 4 maybe, that I'm sold on in each category, and then that final one has really been giving me problems. So I figure I'm gonna get some wrong regardless, but might as well just go with what I want then, right? So that's the case in some of these is predictions slash just say it. So for costume design, I think Wakanda Forever, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is a lock to get nominated. I think Babylon is a lock to get nominated. And I think Elvis is a lock to get nominated. Those 3 are definitely in. Then it gets a little bit trickier for me between something like Avatar The Way of Water, The Woman King, even All Quiet on the Western Front, I think has a shot, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Those are the ones really kind of competing for those last spots for me. But my 4th slot, I'm going to ultimately give to The Woman King. I hope that gets nominated, certainly. And I think the Oscars will give it the nod. And then finally, that last slot. As much as I want to give it to Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think I'm going to go with a prior nominee, someone who gets nominated quite a bit in the costume design department, and a film purely based on fashions that was loved by BAFTA. And my 5th spot is going to Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris for costume design. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Babylon, Elvis, The Woman King, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Hey Tyler. No, we haven't gotten to that man yet. We haven't gotten to his category. Next up, we have production design, another one that I'm finding really difficult to predict. The 2 that I think are 100% in for the category, Elvis and Babylon. They both got Critics' Choice, they both got BAFTA, and they both got the Art Directors Guild. So I think those 2 solid. Babylon, Elvis in. Then it gets a little bit trickier because Wakanda Forever got the Artist Directors Guild and Critics' Choice, but it missed out at BAFTA. And honestly, BAFTA just kind of paid Wakanda Forever dust. So I don't know what's going on with the Brits this year, but come on now. However, BAFTA did nominate Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which is an amazing nomination and one that I am begging Academy voters to come through with. Please, please. But I don't know. That's the only where it's really gotten in, and we all know how they feel about animation and giving it too many nominations. Then we had All Quiet on the Western Front and The Batman, which both got in at the Art Directors Guild and BAFTA, but missed at places like Critics' Choice. But and then we have Avatar and Everything Everywhere All at Once, which also got Critics' Choice and Art Directors Guild. There's a lot. It's a lot of overlap, a lot of madness, a lot of craziness here. So we have Elvis, we have Babylon. Those are my two surefire bets. Then I am going to say Everything Everywhere All at Once gets in because of just the universal love for the film. That's also my argument that it could get into costumes over Mrs. Harris as well. Just they love that movie more, so it ends up nominated. um, oh, then I think it's gonna be All Quiet on the Western Front, and even though it missed BAFTA, I the first one won this award, so I'm going to give Black Panther: Wakanda Forever the fifth and final nomination for production design. So Elvis, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Babylon, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Everything Everywhere All at Once are my 5 picks for production design. Next up, we have makeup and hairstyling, a category shortlist that Everything Everywhere All at Once got snubbed for. So that was, well, disappointing. Meanwhile, though, the films that are getting in for sure, I have The Whale, I have The Batman, and I have Elvis. Those are my easy top 3 when it comes to this category. Then from there, I do. Oof. It does get tough. I think that. I do think All Quiet is going to get in, even though it's just mud. I think All Quiet on the Western Front is getting in. And then after that, oh my. Well, hello, Kamran. Thank you for joining us. RRR deserves. Yes, RRR. I have it in one category at least. We'll see if it makes it in any further ones. But when it comes to makeup and hairstyling, my final prediction is going to be Wakanda Forever again. I don't know. I feel like Wakanda Forever is getting in there. I know a lot of people are going with Blonde here. A lot of people might have Babylon, but I'm going to go Wakanda Forever. As you can see, I'm going to be giving Black Panther some love in my nominations predictions. I think it underperformed at BAFTA, but I think that will turn around a little bit when it comes to the actual Oscar nominations in the below the line categories. Next up, documentary. This one, I think we have All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I think we have Fire of Love. Then we have All That Breeze, Navalny, sorry. And that final spot, I'm gonna go Moon Age Dream. I'm gonna do it. I think it's a little bit of a crapshoot, but I'm gonna just give that final to the Bowie film. Made the Brits push Bowie to the Oscar nomination. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Best Original Song. Now, this one is an interesting one as well. So the SGL, the songwriters, didn't actually nominate Not To, but it was our Golden Globes winner, and it was our Critics' Choice winner. So it already has 2 big precursor wins under its belt. So I think Not To from RRR, 100%. I'll be shocked and a little bit upset if Not To misses out with all of the love for RRR in the campaigning period and through this award season. If it gets blanked at the Oscars, that'll be a bad look, I think. So RRR, Not To needs to get in for Best Original Song. Then I think that Ciao Papa for Pinocchio is in. Hold My Hand, obviously. Lady Gaga, she's back and she's in the awards discussion. And then Lift Me Up by Rihanna, I think, is the next one. Now, when it comes to this fifth slot, the the last nominee, I think, is going to be one, well, none of us have seen, none of us had heard of, none of us knew about before. Um, I really think it's about to be this. Mm, well, which one? What's it called? Is it Destin Ash? Is that the damn? What's the Diane Warren one? Oscar song. Look at me. I'm over here all unprepared. Pause. There we go. Because at first I wasn't going to hear this one. I wasn't going to put it on here. I was going to actually go with Carolina by Taylor Swift as my fifth slot. But then I remembered how many times Diane Warren has gotten in on songs we have never ever heard of, in films we had never ever heard of. So you know what? I'm going to go with Applause as my final prediction. So there we go. Did you hear that largest newspaper publication, USA Today, ranked top 10 best actors, and JR and TR from RRR was at first place? Nice. That's amazing. I love to see the RRR love, especially in all of these other places like USA Today or people's personal rankings, other awards, because unfortunately, India did not submit RRR as their official like nominee for the best international feature category. So it can't be nominated best international feature. And I'm part of a group called Cinemania World. We nominated SS for best director. We nominated RRR for best picture. I just don't know if the Oscars have it in them to do so. So we'll see. I think it gets in for best original song though. All right, next up we have Best Original Score. And the clear ones for me are Babylon is in after getting that Golden Globe win. Then we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, I think is in. And The Banshees of Inisherin is in. They all at least got 3 precursors. They were all Golden Globe nominees. They were all BAFTA nominees. And then Pinocchio and Banshees were both part of the SGL, and Babylon and Pinocchio were both part of the Critics' Choice. So I think those 3 are in. Then, it gets a little bit more dicey for me because both Women Talking and The Fablemans missed at BAFTA. Women Talking is having a real slum of it heading into the Oscar morning nomination. So I'm not sure Women Talking is going to make it in here or not. We have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which got the SGL, though it missed Golden Globes and Critics' Choice, but it got the Oscar nomination. I mean, I got the BAFTA nomination, which could mean it's right for an upset and getting nominated at the Oscars. Plus, again, the general love for that film is palpable. And then we had another score that I thought was absolutely fantastic, and that is All Quiet on the Western Front, which only got in at the BAFTAs, but the film has a lot of technical support right now. That's what's really trying to sell it on me. So I think the next one is The Fablemans. I do think John Williams gets back in, gets another Oscar nomination, and is the 4th pick. My 5th pick is coming down between Women Talking and Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I think ultimately the BAFTA is going to overrule something like Golden Globes and Critics' Choice. And I'm going to pick Everything Everywhere All at Once as my 5th nominee for Best Original Score. So we have Babylon, Everything Everywhere, Fablemans, GDT's Pinocchio, and The Banshees of Inisherin for score. Then we get to Best Foreign Language Film or Best International Feature, which it has been renamed to. This was a little bit of a tough one. Again, we already discussed RRR got the snub. It did not even get the nomination from its home country, and thus it is ineligible to be nominated here for Best International Feature Film. So, unfortunately, RRR fans, it won't be getting into this category. Meanwhile, I think Argentina 1985 is a lock. It has already won the Golden Globes. It was nominated at the Critics' Choice. It got an MPSE nomination. It was a BAFTA nominee. Argentina 1985 taking over this award season. But then I think obviously All Quiet on the Western Front is in for this. I mean, it's gotten so much love recently. I would be shocked if All Quiet on the Western Front misses. Then I think Decision to Leave is the next safest bet because, well, it's hugely acclaimed. And then the last two. I want Corsage. I'm not gonna lie. I do really want Corsage to sneak in. I was living watching Corsage. We got my little EO who made it into the MPSE. And then we have Close, which got Golden Globes and Critics' Choice, and The Quiet Girl, which got the MPSE and the BAFTA. Also, Bardo got the Critics' Choice in the MPSE, and it's Inuritu, so it could easily sneak in. Ultimately, though, I'm going to go with EO and Close as my final two nominees for International Feature. So we have Argentina 1985, Decision to Leave, EO, Close, and All Quiet on the Western Front. Hi, Raheen. You say, I think SS Rajamouli gets in for Best Director. Look, if I were picking the nominees, he was certainly one that should be getting in. That's a director's film for sure, and he had a voice. Some of these other directors that I think are getting in, well, they might have had a voice, but do I think it was good enough? All right. Next up, we have Best Sound. So I have obviously Top Gun Maverick. It's getting in. It got the Sound Guilds. It got the MPSE ×2, and it got the BAFTA. So I think Top Gun, clearly, it's planes, it's guns, it's action, it's in. I think Elvis is also getting in. It got the same three, even though it only got one of the two nominations at the MPSE. But I think Elvis, it's the musical slot this year. Then I think All Quiet on the Western Front is going to give us that war film. They love a war film in the sound category. And then it gets tricky. We have Avatar: The Way of Water. We have The Batman. And we have Everything Everywhere All at Once. Or Tar, which got in at BAFTAs. Really, I can see any of them taking these final two slots. But ultimately, I think I'm going to just go action heavy, y'all. When it comes to Best Sound, I know they usually at least have one or two small movie picks, but really, I'm going to pick Avatar: The Way of Water to get in here. And I'm going to predict the Batman to get in. I think the Batman is going to get a couple stray award nominations, and I think that they'll come mostly in these tech categories, and I think one of them is here. So my predictions for Best Sound are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick. All right, Best Visual Effects. Another one that Everything Everywhere All at Once was egregiously snubbed for, as was our chat favorite here today, RRR, snubbed on the Oscar shortlist. So neither of those two, who probably should be nominees here, or at least on the damn shortlist, neither one were included. So no nomination predictions for RRR or Everything Everywhere in this category. Obviously, though, we all know who's winning this category, so the surefire bet, Avatar: The Way of Water, is in. Duh. Then I think we are also getting Top Gun Maverick in. Done. Then I'm going to go with The Batman. Done. All three of those got the Critics' Choice, they got the Visual Effects Society, and they got the BAFTAs. I think those three are locks. Then it gets a little bit more tricky. Gets a little bit trickier because the other people all either got 1 or 0. Now, Nope is on the short list, and I think should be seriously in the discussion, but it's been pretty much blanked. Like, I don't know what's going on. Multiverse of Madness is an option, but I think they're only going to go with one Marvel film, and that is going to be the more loved Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So that'll be our 4th nominee. And then I'm going to go All Quiet on the Western Front again. I'm going to follow the BAFTAs here instead of the Visual Effects Society or, Critics' Choice or whatever, even though both of those, well, and the BAFTAs all loved Everything Everywhere. So my final nominees are going to be Best Visual Effects, Avatar The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Top Gun Maverick, and All Quiet on the Western Front. Next up, Best Editing. Oh, all right. Well, another interesting one, and one where I'm going a little bit more flash than I probably should, because there's always one that gets in that's much more subtle editing. You don't really realize the editing as you're watching, and that kind of sneaks in amongst the flashier edits. And for me, I would think that's my upset pick of the Banshees of Inisherin, a much more subdued editing. Honestly, I think Decision to Leave should be very much considered in this category, but who knows? Maybe they will. The editors always throw in a curveball too, so we'll see. But ultimately, I say Everything Everywhere All at Once after the Critics' Choice win and the BAFTA nom, Elvis, Top Gun Maverick, Avatar The Way of Water, and All Quiet on the Western Front. Those are the 5 I have in here. Honestly, though, I'm not sold on Avatar The Way of Water. I really think the Banshees of Inisherin could sneak in, or potentially we get our off the ball pick and Decision to Leave snatches up that final spot. But those are the 5 I'm going to be predicting on today. All right, next up, Best Animated Feature Film. So we have 4 that are literally locks at this point. 4 that are done. I mean, the top 4 spots in animation have been decided, and they are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Turning Red, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. If any of those 4 miss on Tuesday morning, it will be quite the stunner. Now, the rest of these are just so all over the place. And since the BAFTAs only pick 4 nominees, they picked the 4 locks and left me out in the lurch. So I'm like, oh my gosh, who do I pick? Who do I pick for my final choice? Really, it's come down between Wendell and Wild and Inu O. And honestly, I'm going to say, I think up behind those is the Sea Beast. Tyler, you can hate, but it got a Visual Effects Society nomination and an Annie nomination for Best Feature Animated Film. So, hey, it's gotten those noms. But Inu O got the Golden Globe nomination as well as the Annie for Independent Feature. And then Wendell and Wild got the Critics' Choice nomination as well as an Annie feature. A lot of people are actually predicting that My Father's Dragon will get that 5th nomination. I don't really know where that's coming from. I mean, it's gotten in at random places, but I just don't know if there's the love. So I'm going to go with an off the wall choice. I'm going to give it to the underrepresented group here, and I'm going to go with Inu O as my 5th and final nominee in Best Animated Feature. All right, next up, we have cinematography. Best cinematography. Now, this one is an interesting category. The ASC had some interesting nominees for sure, and one that I didn't totally disagree with, but the BAFTAs did. So, but I think the ones that are getting in for sure are Top Gun Maverick. It got the Critics' Choice win. It has the ASC. It has the BAFTA. Maverick's in. Then we have Empire of Light. Not getting a whole lot of love this award season, but Deakins is going to Deakin, and he's getting in once again for Empire of Light. Then we have The Batman. I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared that this here, The Batman, is going to get snubbed Oscars morning. But it got the ASC and it got the BAFTA. Once it got that BAFTA, I had to put in my predictions. I think The Batman's getting in, y'all. I think it's getting in, and I'm going to be real upset if it doesn't. And then we have All Quiet on the Western Front. which only got the BAFTA, did not get an ASC nomination, but I think the BAFTA is going to be enough to push it through. And then we have Elvis, which got both the ASC and the BAFTA. Its cinematography is flashy and in your face. Bardo could snatch that final spot away. Likely from All Quiet on the Western Front, I think is the weakest of the category. Maybe Elvis too, actually. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Bardot sneak in and get a nomination for cinematography. It did get the ASC nomination. I also wouldn't be shocked to see the Fablemans sneak in either, but really it's only gotten the Critics' Choice. It's kind of been a little bit quiet since Critics' Choice Awards, so we'll see. Honestly, I would probably even put Babylon in the conversation, but the love just ain't there, y'all. It ain't there. All right, next up, we have adapted screenplay. So this is quite the category. So Women Talking was kind of seen as the front runner. It was the only adapted screenplay that got in the Golden Globes lineup. So the Golden Globes just does best screenplay. They don't separate it into adapted and original. And they were all original except Women Talking was the only adapted that snuck through. However, it missed at the BAFTAs. It got like blanked at the BAFTAs, y'all. I mean, Women Talking, they didn't care about a Women Talking over there. But they did nominate All Quiet on the Western Front. That's the only place All Quiet has been nominated. Then we see the two that I think, well, really one that's a safe bet. It's got the Critics' Choice and it's got the BAFTA. I think She Said is in, period. The Whale also has Critics' Choice and it has the BAFTA. Glass Onion is one that a lot of people have in their predictions, but so far it only has the Critics' Choice Award nomination. So I'm really struggling. Why? And it's like high up on everybody's prediction list, including the mathematical predictions. So there must be something I'm not really seeing when it comes to Glass Onion, but I think it's vulnerable because then we have Living, which got the BAFTA nomination. So what do I do here? Well, it is pretty rare for a foreign language film to get in for screenplay. It has happened, obviously. So All Quiet is weak in that it only has a BAFTA nom and it is a foreign language film. Living seems to be on everybody's list as well. And I think that's to give Bill Nighy a additional nom for his film. But I think that one's real weak as well. And I think Glass Onion's weak. So I do think, here's the ones I think get in. I think Women Talking is in. Even though it missed BAFTAs, I think its strength will push it through to the nomination. I think She Said is in. And much to Minnie's chagrin, I think The Whale is getting into adapted screenplay. After I got that BAFTA, I think The Whale is in. Now, when it comes to the rest, All Quiet, Glass Onion, and Living, I'm really hoping Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio pulls a major upset here and sneaks into the category. Please! It did get that little nod from the USC adapted screenplay. Maybe. But we'll see. God, these last two are really hard for me, y'all. I am going to ultimately go with, I'll stick with Glass Onion, though I'm not seeing where the love is as much. And then I'm going to go with Living. I think the English might rally behind an English film a little bit more, even though it's a beloved screenplay, a beloved book, you know, a remake of a remake of a remake type situation with All Quiet. I'm going to stick with Living. I'm going to stick with Living as the final one. All right, original screenplay. Not quite as hard for me to decide, if I'm being honest. I think original screenplay is a little bit more straightforward. Obviously, we have our two main contenders to actually win the award in Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Banshees of Inisherin. Lock them up, they're in. Then I think also Tar and The Fablemans. Lock them in, they're in. Then it comes down to that last one. I think a lot of people are predicting After Sun for this spot, but ultimately, my pick for the fifth original screenplay is going to be Triangle of Sadness. Got that BAFTA, had a lot of love over there. I do think the European wing of the Academy has more love for Triangle of Sadness than we seem to here in the US, which, what's going on, US? Because I love Triangle of Sadness, and I think it's a little bit better of a screenplay than After Sun. Bloop! I said it, and I'm predicting it. So, everything, Banshees, Fablemans, Tar, Triangle of Sadness, 5 for OG original screenplay. All right, supporting actress. Ooh, one of the ones, these acting categories keeping us up at night. So we have 4 locks. Let's just call it what it is. There are 4 people locked in. Angela Bassett, Carrie Condon, Hong Chow, and Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, are locked in. Hong Chow was a little bit vulnerable, but with SAG and now with BAFTA, she's in. I think she's got it. That's where things get tricky. Some people are thinking the Academy's going to pull a coup. They're going to switch it up on us and actually put Michelle Williams in here. Well, I think she'll get 2 split votes. I don't think Michelle Williams is getting in either place. I'm just going to call it now, so don't expect her in my Best Actress, and don't expect her here in Best Supporting either. I don't think she's making it in. I think really we have to look at Stephanie Hsu, we have to look at Dolly De Leon, and we have to look at Carey Mulligan, who I think everybody has been just not putting in. I think everyone's saying it's Stephanie versus Dolly, but I really think Carey has a shot at getting into this last spot. She got the Golden Globe nomination and she got the BAFTA nomination. 2 pretty good indicators. Now, Dolly De Leon also got the Golden Globe and the BAFTA nomination. However, they both were left out of SAG, which is the biggest voting body of them all. I really wish Stephanie had gotten in to that dang supporting actress at the BAFTAs, especially because they nominated 6. That's what really gives me pause that Stephanie Hsu is not going to get in here. Look, the only way I can live at night with Jamie Lee Curtis being nominated for this year's award is if Stephanie is also nominated. They both have to be nominated for me to accept and be fine with Jamie Lee up there. So I'm hoping the SAG pulls her through. I really, really, really want Stephanie Hsu as this 5th and final nominee. I think Carey Mulligan's name and the fact that she got BAFTA and Golden Globe could really, really push her over the edge, though. So that's where I'm struggling. I don't think it's going to be Dolly De Leon. I love her, but I really think it's between Carey Mulligan and Stephanie Hsu. My gut tells me to go with Carey because she's the name, but my heart is going to rule it this time. And I'm going to predict Stephanie Hsu to get that 5th and final slot. All right, Best Supporting Actor. This one has gotten a little bit more clear for me as we've gone on. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, Ke Huy Quan, we've already locked in. Done. Then we have the duo at Banshees of Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan. Both in. Lock them in. Those are the 3. 100%. If one of them misses, it will be a stunner Tuesday morning. Then, honestly, I think Eddie Redmayne is in, y'all. He got the Globe, he got the SAG, and he got the BAFTA. It would be quite the stunner at this point for Eddie Redmayne to miss. Like his performance, hate his performance, it doesn't really matter. I think Redmayne is an Oscar nominee for The Good Nurse. And then finally, I do think Paul Dano takes up that last spot. He got the SAG, so I think that's going to outweigh the BAFTA in this case. So Paul Dano for The Fablemans, slot number 5. I'll just in my head pretend it's for the Batman. All right, Best Lead Actress. Well, I think this 5 has kind of ironed out, to be honest. I know, again, a lot of people are thinking Michelle Williams could sneak in. I don't think she's sneaking in. I think, we got Brad Pitt. I do think, if there's going to be an upset, in supporting actor, Brad Pitt is certainly probably my number 6. But Babylon was so divisive, and he really only got in at the Golden Globes. So I'll be interested to see, if he can get in without the support of SAG, without the support of BAFTA, without these other big award bodies. But we'll see. I mean, it is Brad Pitt, and everybody at the damn Golden Globes kept just talking Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt, Brad Pitt. So we'll see. All right. Lead actress. Obviously, Kate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh, they're competing for the title. They're both locked and loaded in. Now, people have really, I mean, I guess she could make all the precursors and still miss the Oscars. It's not unprecedented. But people have really, really spun this narrative that Viola Davis is in all kind of trouble, that she is, vulnerable, that there's a good chance maybe she could be the snub. She's gotten every single precursor. She's gotten in at the Golden Globes. She's gotten in at the Critics' Choice. She got in at the SAG, and now she's gotten in at the BAFTA. I mean, Viola Davis is right there with Kate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh in terms of the big precursors, though she doesn't have all the, critic wins that those two have. But I think Viola Davis is a solid number 3 right now, and she's in. Then, I think Danielle Deadweiler's in too. I think she's got the Critics' Choice, she's got the SAG, she got that BAFTA, and I think the BAFTA sealed the deal and pushed her into the nominees. So I'm going to keep Danielle Deadweiler in. And then it comes down to that 5th spot. Again, people are saying maybe Michelle sneaks it. We thought early Margot could have been here. If it were up to me, this 5th spot would be taken up by Emma Thompson because I think she's absolutely fabulous. And she did get at BAFTA nom, so maybe the name could push her. But I have to do it, y'all. I don't want to do it. I really, really don't want to do it. But I have to. I really think Ana de Armas for Blonde is getting that 5th position. Once she got the BAFTA nomination and she got that SAG nomination after the Golden Globe nomination, I think Ana de Armas is in. Now, look, I love Ana de Armas. I love her. I adore the girl. She's everything. No. And I know some people are saying, even if you don't like the film, you got to admit she was good. No, I don't have to admit anything. I don't think it was a very good Marilyn Monroe. I commend her for putting up with all that bullshit and putting it all out on the line for the film. But I think it's going to happen. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be crying, vomiting, throwing up. So see, be ready. I'm expecting it, but I'm still going to react accordingly if she gets in on Tuesday. My nominees are Kate, Michelle, Viola Davis, Danielle Deadweiler, and Ana de Armas. All right. Moving along to Tyler's favorite category. Here we go so Raheen, the woman of the hour, the Andrea Riseborough. That grassroots campaign was absolutely insane, wasn't it? I haven't seen this film. I honestly had never heard of the film that Andrea Riseborough was in. I love her as an actress. Honestly, Possessor was my jam recently. Maybe there's a shot. And if it means Ana de Armas gets the boot, throw Andrea Riseborough in. Please. You know what? I'll even take Michelle Williams and that wig over Ana de Armas in spot number 5. So I think there's a real outside chance. I just think that the push for Andrea Riseborough came a little bit too late. If they had started that push for her a week before, maybe she could have built some kind of momentum. But I think that grassroots campaign came for Andrea too little, too late. Do you watch any Indian movies? I have to be honest, it's a blind spot. The Indian cinema for me overall, mostly because I'm scared of musicals, y'all. I'm very hit or miss with musicals. I like a nice dark film. I like darkness in my life. And, Bollywood and India are just so happy. They're so happy. They seem so joyful, and my black soul can only take so much joy. All right. Moving in, we have Best Lead Actor. Once again, we have 4 that are locked. 4 that, write it in permanent marker. Brendan Fraser, Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, Bill Nighy. They've gotten them all. They've gotten Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, SAG, BAFTA. Those four, they're in. They're in. It's a done deal. Seal it. Now, this last one. This last one has been giving me and pretty much everyone else all of the headaches. You could basically pick from a whole swath of people on who this fifth and final Best Lead Actor nominee is going to be. We've got Tom Cruise from Top Gun Maverick. We've got Paul Mescal from After Sun. We got Diego Calva from Babylon. And now, out of the clear blue sky, we have people left, right, and center have Tom Hanks for A Man Called Otto filling this final spot. I'm not comfortable going with Tom Hanks. I know he's a name, but I really wasn't sold on Paul Mescal getting this. After Sun has felt so much like a film Twitter darling to me that wasn't really translating. It wasn't getting accolades anywhere else other than film Twitter screaming and yelling about it. That I wasn't seeing it for Paul Mescal. But then he got the BAFTA, and that gave me more hope. So Critics' Choice tried to uplift him, and now BAFTA put him up there. Diego Calva got the Golden Globe, but it's a split 10 actor nomination, and he hasn't been nominated anywhere else. Obviously, I would love to see Diego Calva get in because Latinos, yes, represent, and we need some color in this damn lineup. It's going to be pasty ass mayo in the Best Lead Actor category this year, I think. Tom Cruise had some early momentum. People were really trying it with some of these nominees, but really, he blanked at Globes. He blanked at the Globes. He blanked at the SAGs. He blanked at BAFTA. Tom Cruise's airplane has come crashing down, Tyler. I'm sorry for it, but Cruise is done for. I think he's out officially. And if I hear Tom Cruise get announced on Tuesday morning, listen, I'll call up Scientology myself right here on live stream. Okay, Cruise, no Tom Cruise. And thankfully, I think his run has come to an end. So ultimately, I don't know what to think about this category, but I'm gonna go with Paul Mescal. I think he's very good, but I don't know. I'm really not confident on that. I guess I wouldn't be shocked now that I've seen so many people predict Tom Hanks. But who else would it be? I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Paul Mescal, though I'm very, very trepidatious on this. You know what? No, I'm not. Strike out Paul Mescal. I'm not going with the masses. I'm not going with the choice. Look, I said it at the beginning of the stream. Some of these categories I'm probably going to get wrong anyway. So let me put in who I want to see make it. And I'm going to put Diego Calva in as my number 5. F it. We're going Diego Calva, people, because I don't want to see an all-white lineup. I need some color in this biche, and it's going to be my boy Diego. So I'm sorry, Paul Mescal. You'll probably get the nomination, but we're going with Diego here today. Yes, Raheen. That's what I love to see. The dark horse. Diego for the win. All right. Next up, Best Director. Okay, this is another crazy category, y'all. This year is pretty unpredictable. That's fun, right? It's kind of fun. If you're wanting to be good at predicting nominations, it's not so fun. But if you're just along for the ride and having a good time, it's fun. We could have like any which way really happen when it comes to Oscar nomination morning. But when it comes to Best Director, there are a few, I think, that have cemented themselves. Obviously, the Daniels for EEAAO in. Y'all thought they were going to miss. People have been trying to spin this narrative that they were weak, that they were vulnerable. They ain't vulnerable. They won the Critics' Choice. They got in at BAFTA. They got in at Golden Globes. They got in at the DGA. The Daniels are in, baby. And they cement EEAAO as a front runner for the damn Best Picture. Then I do think Martin McDonagh is a lock. He's in. He also got all those same nominations. He's going to make it. Then it gets a little bit more interesting for me. We've got Steven Spielberg, who I am predicting makes it. But been a little bit more vulnerable. Didn't get into BAFTAs, which was quite the stunner, huh? Definitely, they showed them. The Brits don't give a damn about a Fablemans, and honestly, they're real for they saying it. I'm just gonna be real here. Fablemans exit stage left, so I love you, Steven, but you could miss for this. To be honest, I'm not. But I do think Spielberg gets in. He got the Golden Globe win. He got this Critics' Choice. He got the Directors Guild. He's in. Then I think Todd Field is in, which is kind of a weird choice because I really think Tar is a performance and screenplay film. Not really like what I don't know what we're awarding with the direction in Tar all that much, if I'm being honest, but he got the Critics' Choice, he got the Directors Guild, and he got the BAFTA. So it's hard for me to really argue against Todd getting in. He only missed the Golden Globes, and he's a white old dude. So there you go. Then that final spot is literally a crapshoot. It could be anyone. It could be James Cameron still. However, I kind of feel like they've gone cold on Cameron of this season. I thought he was an early front runner with the Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice. Baz Luhrmann seemed like an early front runner with Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, but I honestly don't think they're going to award all that flashiness. I think Baz will be left on the side once more. Joseph Kosinski got in at the Directors Guild and certainly cemented himself, but then didn't get in anywhere else. Then we have Miss Gina Prince Bythewood, who got Critics' Choice and BAFTA. We have Park Chan-wook and Edward Berger, who both got in at BAFTA, and they both fill a niche that the Academy has really been doing recently, and that is at least one international film, one foreign language film director has been getting in pretty much all recent nomination ceremonies, which also brings us to S.S. Rajamouli, who got in at the Critics' Choice, as did Sarah Polley, but again, I'm sorry, Sarah. Look, they are just not. They don't. They're not here for no women talking. Let's just be very clear. So, really, I think this is one of those awards, y'all, where I'm gonna swing for it. I wouldn't be too shocked if it was Edward because All Quiet on the Western Front has this real big surge right now, but I'm not gonna predict Edward. I don't think he gets in. I honestly am going to go between Gina Prince Bythewood and Park Chan-wook. Two movies that have no chance at Best Picture, which honestly makes a bigger case for Edward because he he's going to be in Best Picture, but and the same thing with James Cameron and Joseph Kosinski and Baz Luhrmann. All of their movies are going to be in Best Picture, so that automatically probably gives them a little bit of a bump. But I'm not seeing it. Park Chan-wook perfectly fits that best foreign language film spot right there. That director of a foreign language film have been predominantly Eastern Asian countries that have really slid into this position as well, or Mexico. Hello, but it really fits. But I'm probably going to get this one wrong anyway. So I'm going to vote with my heart. I'm going to swing for the fences. When I saw her name on that damn BAFTA, my heart sang. It will give us somebody of color other than the Daniels. It will be our first Black woman nomination, and it will give us a woman in this category. I'm going to do it. After Critics' Choice, after BAFTA, I'm going to give it to Gina Prince Bythewood, and it would be so deserved because her directing in that film, The Woman King, is amazing. I love it. I love her. And yeah, I think she's getting in. How confident am I? 2% confidence, but I'm going to predict old Gina. Okay. Never bet, never doubt James Cameron. Look, put that at the box office, but today we're doubting James Cameron. I think he's going to get pushed out. The BAFTAs, not only had they never heard of something called The Fablemans, the BAFTAs also never heard of something called Avatar: The Way of Water. They look the other way and pretend they never seen it. Okay? And I'm with the BAFTAs. Sorry about it. Okay. Finally, Best Picture. The locks. Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Banshees of Inisherin. The Fablemans. Tar. Top Gun Maverick. Elvis. Lock them in. Those six. Completely safe. They're done. They're in. It's over. Goodbye. It's the next four that are the problem. I think up next is All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm still not completely sold on that either, just because it came out of nowhere. But the BAFTAs are going to push it there. That European branch is going to make sure that All Quiet on the Western Front gets in to Best Picture. Next. Next, I'm going to go with Avatar The Way of Water. It missed the BAFTAs, but it's really gotten in everywhere else. It got the Golden Globe, it got the Critics' Choice, it got the Producers Guild. Obviously, it's a box office behemoth. It will give them yet another big box office win. This is a year of box office wins with Top Gun Maverick and Avatar The Way of Water, even Everything Everywhere All at Once being huge successes. Elvis was big. I do think that Avatar The Way of Water finds its way in. They're going to snub Cameron, but they're going to give it to his film. Oh, goodness. Then what do you do? All right. So the RRR love is here. All right. So you think RRR is going to bump out All Quiet, huh? Okay. Maybe both. Look, the thing All Quiet on the Western Front has going for it is, although it's international, it's still white people. The white devils will vote for their own kind. And I think that it's international, but not too international. They can recognize the folks they see on the screen. um, I would love to see, that's the thing. I would love to see Indian cinema by and large just get more love at awards, because if there is a country that has its own self sustaining movie industry outside of Hollywood and the US, it's India. I mean, they have their own damn full infrastructure over there that the Academy just doesn't respect. Unfortunately, I mean, they never get awarded. They're never really recognized. They make like big splashes even at the box office here. If you watch every single Indian film that comes over to the US and gets some sort of release, has a pretty good opening weekend, and they usually have nice little runs at the US box office, yet the Academy has never seen or heard of the country India. But RRR, I was hopeful for it for a while, but I just it's missed at too many places for me to put it in my final 10. What I am putting in my final 10 is going to be Babylon. I know people are really thinking it's out and actually putting in something like Women Talking over it. But it got the Golden Globe nom, it got the SAG nom, it even got a Critics' Choice nom. I know it's divisive, but we've seen divisive films get in before. Don't Look Up just did it. And it's about Hollywood still. It's about movies. I think it has enough fervent, passionate folks behind it that I do think Babylon is getting into Best Picture. And then the final slot, it could still be Women Talking. It got that SAG ensemble, which means actors could push it into this spot. It could be Triangle of Sadness after I saw all that support for Triangle over in the BAFTAs. But I'm going to stick with The Whale. The Whale is going to be my 10th one. It only really has the Producers Guild, but it's a tiny one-room film, and Producers Guild like to go big. That's why I almost put Black Panther Wakanda Forever in here, but I couldn't quite justify it. I think it's going to be The Whale. It missed on most of the other precursors as well, but I think it's getting that screenplay nod. I think it's getting the Brendan Fraser, and I think the love of Fraser is going to push The Whale to a Best Picture nomination. I am very nervous about this, though, because Darren Aronofsky is not Not known for Best Picture nominees, but we'll see. So my final 10 are Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Avatar The Way of Water, Elvis, The Whale, Babylon, and All Quiet on the Western Front. So that's it. Those are my official Oscar nomination predictions. Thank you all so much for everyone who was in the chat today. Any shot of Chazelle for director? I think he's too far down the list. Particularly since he already won. Maybe if he didn't win for La La Land, and he could kind of be one of those people who had been churning out great film after great film to the Academy, but he won La La Land. I would be shocked if he jumped over Cameron and Baz Luhrmann and Berger, all of these other people. I would actually be kind of shocked if Chazelle were to do that. And all of his actors have more or less fallen by the wayside, which is interesting. They all had a lot of momentum early, like Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt and Diego Calva. They all had really early momentum, but in the more recent nominations, they've fallen off. So I think Babylon will play well in the below the line categories, and I think it gets into picture, but I don't think Chazelle is going to quite get in for director. But those were my nomination predictions. As I said, I'll be here live Tuesday morning, bright and early, doing a live reaction to the Oscar nominations as they happen. So if you're up, if you're watching the Oscar nominations ceremony live, join me. Let's talk about them together as they happen in real time. RRR fans, maybe there will be something to cheer for come Oscar morning. Maybe we'll actually be happy. That was a part of my favorite films of the year. So check that out if you are a fan. It was up there for me. And then, we can all weep and want to die inside when Ana de Armas gets a nomination for my pick for the worst movie of the year. But that was it. Those were my nominations. If you're watching on playback, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and leave your own predictions in the comment section down below. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.